admissions wars. Math majors stand out from other advanced high school students from other competitive high schools. It's one thing to compare the advanced math students and the advanced, really the HSMSE students to other specialized high schools. At the end of this, hopefully they're applying to a college, and it turns out that there are other places besides New York City that have other amazing high school students. While the math curriculum here is really quite impressive, if you're applying to a place like Columbia, they happen to get plenty of applications of students who have done through Calc 3. There are many fewer places that offer something like this additional topics in mathematics. There are many fewer high schools that offer linear algebra, that offer modeling with Maple and with Mathematica and these other topics that we would be adding. And
historically, at the open house, when parents come in and want to know about the school, we've had many comments of my student, my middle schooler right now is very interested in math and very precocious in math. What do you have to offer a student like that? And that's something that sort of stuck with us for a while, which really has been motivating us to try to design a program like this, is to just meet the needs that we see are out there. So we'd like to obviously attract middle school students who are interested in this and really other students.
Finally, the pragmatics. The selection process, sophomores who are interested would elect the math major in the spring. And the election process is upcoming. It will take place, since this is the first year, we have to get this process into place, but it will take place after the Mount Sinai application process. And then once the sophomore elects to be in the math major, this group of students will be reviewed by the math department, the principal, and the guidance counselors, just to make sure that they are not committing themselves to something that would be detrimental to them. So to make sure that it's something attainable for these students who have elected to do this. With that, we have several minutes for some questions, and if you come up with questions later that we don't have time to cover here, please take down either my email address or Mr. Coulam's email address, and you can answer them by email.
What courses would these be in lieu of?
I believe it is...
In the junior year, it would be the digital electronics. Well, and obviously, we're still thinking during the junior and senior years, Mount Sinai, math major, engineering. So this would be in lieu of, let's say, on the, obviously the Mount Sinai program, we do not envision being able to do this or Mount Sinai, one of the three.
One of the three.
So not Mount Sinai, not the digital electronics as juniors, so they would still have the other engineering course as juniors, and then the engineering, senior engineering class, so the networking class.
Networking architecture.
I'm sorry, networking architecture design. So the senior engineering curriculum, right.
They still have gym, right? Mount Sinai didn't have gym, they would still have gym.
Yeah, this entire program is here. Absolutely, they're here. Their schedule in terms of time of day that they're here at the school, we don't anticipate that changing at all.
So every student will either be in Mount Sinai engineering or the math.
Is there an application process for the engineering program?
I'm in the math department.
I'm sorry, could you, I missed it. Would you repeat the question?
Is there an application process for the engineering program?
No.
Not yet.
Well, yes and no.
There wouldn't be at this stage, but when they at the end of their junior year, the students who are pursuing engineering choose list a preference for what course they want to get into. And I think Mr. Henning's going to speak a little bit about the engineering options, but we have three at the moment. We're currently offering 3 different engineering tracks for the seniors, which is our advanced architecture course, our design workshop that Mr. Henning teaches, and the computer networking, basically the computer engineering course that Mr. Yanakis. So they do actually list a preference. They don't do it at the end of sophomore year. They do it at the end of junior year for what they will pursue in engineering in the future.
There's a question here.
Yeah, you're talking about math team, so all these kids would be expected to be on the math team?
It would be for a total of 2 semesters out of the 4 semesters of junior and senior year. So it doesn't preclude the opportunity to take, for example, Ms. Boylan's gastronomy class, right? So they could take Ms. Boylan's gastronomy class for one of those.
Shoot ourselves in the head.
But 2 of those semesters, in order to actually develop the types of problem-solving skills, and in order to give them the opportunity to explore these areas, I'm using explore twice, but in an exploratory way first before we give them the additional advanced topics in mathematics, we will require that they do 2 out of the 4 semesters.
And if they wanted to do it for all 4 of the semesters, then would that preclude AP German?
Yes, but that's currently the case. Right, so if someone wants to do
They
4
need
semesters of the math team their junior and senior year, yes, they cannot also take
And
German.
I've never understood why seniors leave early. Isn't there then the opportunity to do both of those things? Or,
Well, okay, so the German class is offered during the elective period, so it's not at the end of the day. So they wouldn't be able to take a class that doesn't exist. And the reason we let them out a little earlier, we figure we've tortured them for 3 years. Don't quote me on this, I'll deny saying it, but many of them actually have enough credits to graduate before they start their senior year. There are 2 courses that we just won't let them take early, that we try and prevent them from graduating a year early. Many of our students, if we were to rearrange our schedule, could graduate very definitely by the end of their junior year, very easily by after the fall semester senior year.
right, but that,
So then we run into the problem we have with our seniors who are sitting back and going, I don't need any of these classes to get a diploma. Really, why am I coming to school every day?
okay, but for kids who actually are applying to highly competitive colleges, isn't it to their advantage to take another class? Particularly in the fall?
If
before
they're
they
graduating with
get-
nearly double the amount of credits that they need to get a high school diploma in New York State, I don't think additional courses would really be a huge advantage.
And
We haven't had problems with our kids getting into top colleges, so.
It's a balance between, if you just take as many classes as you possibly can, that shows that the student's precocious. But these colleges also want to see an ability to focus and do something. So adding, 100 classes, might not be advantageous for that college.
True.
Can I say something? The Department of Education requires 44 attempts to graduate. Each semester is a credit instead of the whole year. The school offers up to 72 credits.
Right, but I think it's a specific issue that if you're going to be on the math team, you can't take AP German.
No, well, you need
No,
a math
actually,
team as a junior.
let's back
say.
up. Yes, you could, because you could complete your math major requirement by taking math team the entirety of your junior year, both fall and spring. You completed the two semester requirement, and then your senior year, you could take the.
You could take AP German, but what if you want to continue to compete in math competitions?
You can
That's-
always compete in math.
And that is absolutely, I have some students who come afterwards who, again, want to opt out and take, gastronomy or something that's completely different, and I absolutely make it available to them to compete in the competitions. Obviously, they can't be physically in the classroom while they're doing their German class, but the competitions, we work that out.
We have encouraged in the past several kids to stop taking the same elective over and over again, even though it changes. We have had students we discourage from taking math team for 8 terms that they can. Why? The whole point of the elective enrichment classes is to expand their horizons to
Yeah,
offer
it's
them
a
different.
slightly different thing because math team in many schools would be an extracurricular activity that they could do after school. So,
Right, which we do recognize, we are running it during the middle of the day, which is why I think we make it a bit more flexible with respect to the competitions that they can get in on it. Any student who wants to write a research paper for the math fair, I'd be more than happy, to accept it outside of this channel of math team, and, there's no problem there.
Let's go like this, so starting with you.
So far we hear Mount Sinai, we hear math team, we hear engineering team. Are they kind of concentrations and they all overlap somehow? Maybe parents will be able to understand better?
Well, I think definitely with respect to, some of the.
They're all
skills-
elective.
I would say some of the skills that the students learn as part of these concentrations are absolutely similar skills.